all the three stores, the name changed, and all of them had the name Cotton Cottage.
Okay. So basically, when you go to a Cotton Cottage store, you have the advantage of getting a little of each part of Rajasthan.
Like we get stuff from Orissa, Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu, right from Bihar, and that is what makes it different from a mill-dyed cloth, that which will have a standardization. So not more than, say, today, because even if we have 25 stores, so not more than 100 pieces in anything that we create today.
Welcome to the episode 2 of the Marketing Crew podcast. Like we discussed last time, we'll be making this podcast about discussing journeys of entrepreneurship, of marketing, of businesses. And I've had the pleasure of bringing on today with me Vishwasji, who's the owner of Cotton Cottage, a brand we've had the pleasure of working with for the last 3 years. And today we learn about his story, how his brand came to be, and what are the challenges he's facing today. At the same time, how he looks at his business evolving in the next few years. So Vishwasji, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you
Pleasure's
so
all
much.
mine.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's straight get into it. I wanted to know, like, we've been working together for so much time, but I've never actually asked you how you started off this business. How did you get into it?
So basically, this it started off with a single store in Mumbai. So basically, my father, we are basically from Rajasthan. So he always had that fascination of getting stuff from our own hometown and showcasing it to the urban crowd and whatever. So it started with a single store where he used to get all handicrafts and everything that Jaipur or Rajasthan, the interiors, that used to come through. And then it just started with one store which he had opened up just to help somebody set up a business.
Okay.
And then he started it. As time grew, then he thought, no, let's get involved into it and grow it. So gradually, as any traditional business, started with that, and then we used to do everything possible, whatever Rajasthan had to offer, we used to get it and sell it in our stores.
And this was way back in...
This is way back in started in 1975, where for 10 years, he was just helping somebody set up their business.
Okay.
So till 1985, he helped them. After that, it was like we were all in a joint family. And somewhere around 88, 89, as for any business, a joint family, the brothers split. So he came on with certain businesses, and then gradually, after a while, he just stopped everything and then just focused on this. He started enjoying this. It wasn't more of he started working to, like, he started enjoying what he was doing.
Understood.
And then that's it. And he was a very content person as such, disciplined, liked his life, slow. And so that's how it started.
And at that time also the name was Cotton Cottage?
No. So it was started with the first store, where it was the first store that he had started, which he handed over to somebody, was called Rajasthan Emporium, because we got everything from Rajasthan. Because Rajasthan was already there, and then he had an extension getting stuff from Kutch, Ahmedabad and all. So he named this first store as Gujarat Emporium.
Okay.
So that was the name. Then after a few years, my brother, he joined the business. So there was another store put up. Earlier, like a traditional business, you would sit there at the store and manage a store. So my brother joined in. So the second store was born. Then that was in a different name. Then a third store they opened up, where a staff would come and sit. And that time there was no such like softwares or computer systems or anything. It was all manually done and manually built. So that is why the third store came, and gradually there were 3 different stores in Dadar, Mumbai, all 3 having different names,
Okay.
but similar kind of a functioning. And then gradually, after a while, my brother realized, no, this is not how we will ever grow up. So he had a word with my dad. I was in college that time, and then they decided to come onto one name, and that is how my dad coined the name Cotton Cottage, because everything that we did was cottons.
Okay.
So that is how Cotton Cottage came. All the 3 stores, the name changed, and all of them had the name Cotton Cottage.
It was a birth of the brand.
That is how it started.
And by then you all had already started doing just clothes, because you said in the beginning you were doing everything handicrafts.
No. So till that time, till these 3 stores were there, we used to do quilts, bed sheets, cushion covers, furnishing, handicraft items, everything. Chaniya cholis, everything.
Okay.
So gradually, over a period of time, the taste changes, the requirement of customer changes, the newer generation which comes into business has different thoughts, and that is where my brother used to be more focused on to let's do only apparels. So gradually everything else fizzled out, and it remains today as apparels.
Okay. And so today's collection, like when I went to your store, you have art forms like Sanganeri, Bagru, like all of these different art forms, right? I think there are Chanderi. So there are different art forms. So these represent specific areas of Rajasthan, or how is the?
Okay. So there are prints, and like you mentioned Chanderi, which is a fabric, a weave. So block printing as a technique is practiced majoritarily in the interiors of Rajasthan. You will have in Gujarat, all other areas also, but it's like a traditional, like a hereditary kind of a culture which is passed on to generations and people. So when you say Sanganeri, it is from a town called Sanganer in Jaipur. Then when you call Bagru, it is from a town called Bagru. So when you go interiors, so these are like the geographical indicators, like the GI marked processes, and there are few which are called Dhabu, Ajrak. So Ajrak is mostly practiced in interiors of Kutch. So they have a town called Ajrakpur, which is because of Ajrak process which is formed. And then this Chanderi is from a place called Chander. Then Maheshwari comes from Maheshwar. But now, because as time has passed and over the years, you will have a Chanderi been done in MP, been done in Banaras, been done down south, everywhere. But yet Maheshwari is because of the Maheshwar town in MP.
Okay.
So that's how it is. So you'll have a Bandhani been done in Kutch, in Rajasthan. So now, because as generations, there are generations also, they have also spread. Earlier it was consolidated to one town or a village where they would practice this. And now, because as generations grew up, so it's like those people only have migrated. It's like our forefathers were born and brought up in Rajasthan in the villages, but now I'm sitting here in Mumbai talking to you. So our generations, they've also all moved.
Okay. So basically, when you go to a Cotton Cottage store, you have the advantage of getting a little of each part of Rajasthan in the form of kurtas, kurtis, shirts, and this thing for.
So initially, when Dad was there, so earlier commuting, so catch a train, then you will have an ST bus, then if you get a rickshaw or a taxi and move to interiors. So even going to any town or going to purchase things used to take a lot of time. So gathering, going, developing relationship with the printers, the weavers, ensuring that they send you the stocks, and it was like a very small scale industry that worked, very informal. Now, as time has passed by, so you can reach many more places, many more villages. They have an access. Earlier, language, like going down south, language used to be a barrier. So you don't know the South Indian languages. They don't know any of Hindi or English or any of the languages. So now, because of WhatsApp, the newer generations, you can at least communicate. You can use a translator. So with technology, you can reach anywhere in any part of India. Accessibility is there. So now we have made it like we get stuff from Orissa, Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu, right from Bihar, down West Bengal, MP, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Kutch. So everything, and we are trying to yet build on what our father started, get all the culture and the tradition which made India colorful and whatever the multifaceted, and get it and show it to the urban class exactly what do we do. So meaning you should know what exactly India has to offer. So that is what we are trying.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like what I knew of Cotton Cottage the first time. Like, of course, we started working together,
Yeah.
but I remember when Vishal, me, and we went to shoot the process in Sanganer and Bagru. We were so blown by just the sheer simplicity and process of these people who day in day out do this. And even though it seems mundane and monotonous
Yeah.
to us, it's so meditative to watch. And we think of our lives, so fast paced and so everything is happening so quickly in our cities, while these guys wake up in the morning, they set up their clothes, and then they go on with their process. The kids are playing around. It's just such a beautiful thing to watch, and it really changed my entire perception of the brand. And I think even when it comes to our marketing, whatever we try to bring this, this feeling of what hard work and precision goes into making what we see. Because in the end, we wear what we wear. We don't know, how much, how many.
So it's basically the whole, like we just see the garment and you'll adorn it and you are okay. Like, ठीक है, मैंने ये लिया या वो. But if you really go, like you had the thing of going and seeing exactly how the whole process goes through, and the hard work that these guys really do, it is not easy. It's like using a printer and taking a printout of whatever you want. But the pains that they go through when you do it like a manual, an artist, sketches, putting in colors, making a painting, it's the same stuff.
Like, if
it is an art and they are artists.
Like, that's what if you can just explain me, like, suppose, okay, I only see the end kurta which I wear when I go to your store, okay? But if you can tell me how that kurta came to be, from the beginning, in a very short this thing, what the steps are.
Okay, so so I can tell you exactly as to how we work. So in Cotton Cottage, we believe in maintaining the quality as the prime most thing that we have. So basically, right from the gray fabric. So the base fabric which comes is called a gray fabric in layman's term. So that gray fabric is what comes as per what specifications we get. We've also evolved over a period of time. Earlier, we used to, because it was a smaller business that we had, the quantum of purchase was lesser. So we used to buy ready-made. So quality that time was not controlled by us, but we used to get stuff which was ready. Now we know that this is what we want, we'll get it made. So that is made, it comes, the gray fabric is first checked for any weaving defects or whatever. That goes to so you have process like a dyeing process, a printing process. So it will go to the dyer, where yet there are three types of the way they work. So the most fascinating one is yet they have one big vessel in which yet the master dyer will just use, and like they don't weigh the colors or whatever. You just tell him this is the shade I want. It's with experience, pour, and that's it. It's magic. But the best part is, because they use their experience to create it, every batch that comes will have that different shade. And that is what makes it different from a mill dyed cloth, which will have a standardization or the consistency. That is what gives you that thing. Then the block printing is like, so every process, like if it's a Bagru or a Dhabu or a Sanganeri or Rajak, will have their own intricate things because the processes vary, that's where the effect varies. It's like if I'm doing a Sanganeri, then why does it look different from a Bagru? Why does it look different? It's because of the processes. So then again, first they will wash it to remove all the impurities and whatever. Then they'll put it into certain, like in a bagru, they put it into a harda, which gives you that the yellowish, creamish color effect. Then they again wash it. Then they'll lay it on the tables. Then they one block, let it dry because it's one color. Then the second color. Then the third color. So if you see the precision, it's like a 6x6 or an 8x8 ka block. One, 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 one. And then again, that's one color. Then you will take the second. Again, precisely put it on that. Then the third. So you can go up to 6, 7, 8 colors. So 8 times in precision on that same thing, they'll keep on putting it. And then they'll again wash it. Then the washing is that they'll put a bhatti like to curate and make it as fast, color fast as possible. And then they will dry it on the sand. Then it comes to us, where we will check it, again wash it, so that your color fastness, your shrinkage is taken care. Then that fabric is ready. So this whole process, right from the gray to the end product, will take maybe 6 weeks to 3 months. Depends. And it's all depending on the weather climate that is there. So the color will also change if it's sunny, if it's cloudy, if it's raining, they don't work.
So then how do you manage production?
So,
I mean, because I know whenever I go to Cotton Cottage, every time the collection is different. Every time.
Yeah. So this is what we've been trying to do, is like work months in advance with an uncertainty that this is the collection that we've thought will come, but out of which we expect maybe 60-70%. And because it's hand processed, many times the uniqueness, which are the irregularities and the imperfections in the block, is sometimes more than what is acceptable. So you have to reprocess it. Sometimes because it's naturally dried, sun ke wajah se, there are some color variations, which we would accept because we know the pains and the process which the printer goes through. But our end consumer sometimes don't accept it when it comes on to a garment. अरे नहीं, इसमें तो बहुत color variation है, इसमें देखो ना print बराबर नहीं है. And then we are like, okay, we'll not. But then sometimes you feel bad for the artisan and the printers, because the amount of hard work they've done to create that, and it's like one look and we are like, ये बराबर नहीं है. And you're like, 2 महीने लगाए हैं उसने ये बनाने में. But that's how it is. So we've started working way in advance, say 6 months, 8 months, and the whole process starts just to create the fabric. So and because we need that much quantity of fabric. So
our tagline reads that every 15 days we get a different collection. Like every time you walk into the store, it's different. So I'm just trying to understand this, fathom this, because you have today, I don't know, 20-25 stores, and the production is all coming from Rajasthan. Most of it is coming from Rajasthan.
Yes.
To make sure that your production is your collection is changing every 15 days across stores, how does this whole
thing? Basically what happens, like when we say we are, so we add new products every 15 days. So it's basically, we made it this thing of never repeating any print, any design ever. Till date, we've been able to achieve it. And in future also, we plan to stick to this, because today as a consumer, okay, you'll wear a white shirt or a black shirt, which are like, okay. But if I'm to give you colors, prints, designs, why would you want to repeat it? And so that's why we ensure, that's the reason. Earlier 3 months in advance, 6 months, 8 months in advance, you work. So our textile designers, they keep on working with these guys, creating new blocks. Every time a new design. So a same block, if I say do a Sanganeri, the same block I can do for a Dhabu also. But the effect, everything will change. The design could be the same, because the process is different, the output is different. The look of the product, the fabric changes completely. So to ensure, but it is, I mean, but that is what we strive to do, and that is what gives us that. That's the drive that we have when a customer comes in. Arre, aaj naya kya hai? Like today, all of us sitting. It's like you could have your breakfast in the morning every day, but you cannot have the same breakfast. You need a variety. Same way, a customer also wants that. So that's why we now 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year in advance, we'll start working as and when things grow. So, but
it's worth it. I think.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
So,
it is.
yeah. Because I mean, we live in a mass market world,
Yes.
right? Everything we wear today probably has thousands. I mean, if you buy from a fast fashion
Yeah.
brand, has 1,000 copies of it
Yes.
roaming around somewhere. I'm guessing at least one thing, if you're buying from Cotton Cottage, you can make sure is if you enter a party, nobody else will be
Yes.
wearing.
So this is also one thing why we didn't like, we are for the like a mid premium to a low premium, but we are we always wanted to make sure that, because block print, every than, which is like say 5 meters, 6 meters, it's called a than, is different from the other. So we were always like, if the thans are different, why do people dress up and why do they want to wear something which is common? So all these high fashion big brands will make the same. They have a depth in their collection, like in the quantity. We will give you a width. So not more than say today, because even if we have 25 stores, so not more than 100 pieces in anything that we create today. So say 200, 300 meters, that's it. And it's a new design, new color, everything different. So because every person who wears, like today, everybody wants to be unique. You want to have your way of dressing. What today you wear, I don't want somebody else to wear. But if I wear a white shirt, anybody could wear a white shirt. Black shirt, anybody. But if I'm wearing something, I'm sure that nobody else is wearing. And that is what gives you that uniqueness, which every human is. Like everyone is unique in their own way. So why are their clothes not unique in the way?
Yeah, so that's a beautiful way to think. I mean, another thing which I always wonder is when you have, say, oh, give it, I lost this. Coming back to our story, okay, you ended at we drifted away from 3 stores. So now I wanted to know how you got into the business, because today we are standing at 20, 25 stores. We were at 3 stores just in Dadar. Today we are all over India. How did this happen?
So basically, as we opened a third store, so I told you that time there were no systems in place and all. And somewhere around 2005, my brother started thinking, no, we should have one common name. Let's try. Because earlier the thought processes for any business was very localized. It's like, ye karte. We were all, because my dad, I told you, was a content, satisfied. This is how it is. Brother, the newer generation comes in. And then he spoke to dad and he was like, yes, we should create something which will be, let's create something. We didn't know where we will reach, how we will do it, but let's do it. So somewhere around, so that is where that Cotton Cottage name came, all the branding started and everything. And I yet remember the first store we went to open was in a mall in Mulund. And we went there and they told us, Acha, aap log ye karte, kya karte? So there was this question. And earlier, when you had to enter a mall, there used to be like an interview as to, because there were very few malls in Bombay. And that time the mall culture was picking up. And we were like, yeah, hum log bhi jayenge. Mall hai, make a bigger store, a mall and all. So that is how it started. And then my brother, because I have a different educational background. I was doing my own professional thing. And then he asked me, Ke kya kar rahe? Because dad also was aging and his health was not keeping up. So he asked me that I want to expand this, so what to do? I said, okay, I'll join. And that's it. That was one day decision. And because family business hai, professional line alag hai, but then I was like, family. Let's just go with the flow. And that's how I joined him. And I yet remember the first store that we made in Cotton Cottage, well, the fourth store, but first for into a mall and all. And so that was that day. And over a period of time, we kept on increasing. And that is the time we realized, nahi, technology chahiye if you want to grow. So then came into the system, the softwares, barcoding, and then that's how it started. So
one thing I always wonder is like you went from 3 stores to 4 stores, okay, but brick and mortar businesses have their own set of challenges when it comes to expansion. Okay, so how did you like manage to reach 20 stores with these challenges?
so basically, once we started going, so in Mumbai we expanded. We had a 6 store, 7 store, and then we realized, okay, Mumbai is something that we can manage, but then 7 stores, the 8 stores, yes. And then we realized no, now to expand further, we'll have to take the franchise route because retail is a relationship business. You can open multiple stores, but you have to connect to your customers. The brand will connect as a product, but getting like the physical relationship between a brand, like the owner and the customer, has to be there in retail. You may have multiple, you've seen multiple brands, big brands having stores which open up. It's very easy to open up stores, but to have that connect or an emotional, it's like, why does your father or mother yet go to the same kirana guy or the spectacle guy or whoever? They are used to seeing a face. So you connect a face to a store. Gradually, as we started opening 7th, 8th store, we could not reach everywhere. It's not physically possible to be everywhere every time. That is the time we realized no, we need a franchise model wherein the franchise should be an owner who's interested in running the store as we would run our own stores. So that is how we went into a franchise model because the franchisee, and we were very selective about if you are coming and joining us, we don't want you to open a store or just pump in the money, but we want you to be physically present and help us grow, and we will also help you grow. But that you have to be there. So that is how our franchise started. They went to Pune, Goa, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Nasik, Udaipur, everywhere. So now we've realized that a franchise is the way because you need somebody who would connect to a customer. It's very easy to open a store. It's just get a store, put in the merchandise, put your staff through. But the relationship, that personal yet maybe traditional thought processes, but that is what we've grown with. So we think it's yet important to have that connect.
And keeping in mind how important and how used to people got to experiencing Cotton Cottage in person with, you know, identifying, okay, this I'm going to buy from this person, even though the product is the same, I'm going to buy from this person. In a when like I'm sure when COVID hit, it must have been. How did you manage that?
So basically, COVID was something which, so we were growing. So like earlier, like said, the challenges were in production, getting the fabric, because you want to give something which is authentic, right? And what we did was only purely block printing. There's always an option. You want to scale up, go to screen printing, which is like you're having an artist who's painting and do creating, and second you have a machine, a printer, press a button, and you get what you want. So that fight always stayed, no, we will stick to something which is very authentic, stick to what we believe in. And that's why growth has been very calculated, slow, keeping in mind the authenticity of the product as well as keeping the quality maintained. So that is why we were growing. And when just pre-COVID, we were at say 28 stores. And then suddenly, boom, COVID. No idea what happened. Jan में थोड़ा बहुत स्लो डाउन था. Pre-COVID, we were like, okay, होगा कुछ. December of previously China had. We were like, okay. Feb, nothing. Mid-March, everything shut. We were like, okay. 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days. Second week of April, we were like, we don't know what's happening. This has never happened. And certain times, if somebody you could go back to and ask, in your experience, so there was nobody who had experienced that. Like the whole world shut down, everything shut down. So there was nobody we could talk to and understand. And then, like, the franchisees started panicking because everybody had their own overheads. We had our overheads to manage our staff, the store, the rentals, the everything. And then we took a call saying, we don't know where this is going. So in case the rentals cannot be managed, because you had to pay your staff. They are your family. They are the ones who are going to help you. You have to help them when they need you. They help you when they. It's like a mutual thing. So we took a call where we said nothing doing. The staff stays. We shut down the stores. The franchisee called. What can we do? I said whatever is a call that you take, because we didn't know what's going to happen. And during that time, we shut down half our stores. We came down to 14 stores. So the first wave itself, we were 50% down. 3 months down, then the store started opening alternate days. Then till 5 o'clock you open, close. Nobody knew. So that is the time then we realized, this. So we the next 2 years we were yet trying to cope up with what had happened. The best part was because it was our product, the way we had created it. We knew that we are not into a fast fashion. We make products which you can wear every day. So the industry saw a complete change where people who were into fast fashion went away, because what was fashionable in March, nobody wanted it in September when everything opened. But because this thing is there and all, so things were not that bad, but it took us 2 years, the second wave, the third wave. Till 2 years, we were also sitting on to, because our main thing was we can't afford to burn money at the expense of laying off people. So we were very consistent that time and conservative, and we managed to tide over. Then again started the story. Get your franchises back. We are again back to 25 stores. We've got all our production, everything in line, and I think it's now where we are.
And I think even that period kind of pushed you to go digital, like more and more towards that route.
Yes. So earlier, the thought process pre-COVID, we've been a brick and mortar store where we never believed in like marketing into advertisement. Like, so any brand that advertises and so it's all comes out from your margins and it all hits your MRPs. So you price your product accordingly, because nobody is going to pay from their pocket to advertise. And day one, we were very clear, let's pay our artisans, let's pay our staff well, but it's not called cheating, but let's be honest with what margins we need when it comes to pricing a product. And then that's how it's going to be. So by word of mouth, we grew. Things were going smooth. Customers are happy because they are getting a good quality product at an affordable price, which they could relate to. And we were happy. We are getting our margins where it's not pinching anybody. And we are paying our artisans well, because once you see their hard work is when you realize, it's unfair to really not pay them what they deserve. So then that happened. Then COVID happened. Again, during that time, we realized that digital marketing and online businesses started. There are a lot of people sitting home started, the newer generations. It was the need of the hour, and people started doing that because e-commerce was the only thing which was allowed during the lockdowns and all. Post that, when things opened up. That is the time we realized that we need to connect again to our existing customers. Because that 6 months after the first COVID, the first 6 months which went, everybody lost connect and people started sitting at home, ordering online or whatever way because first 3 months nobody required anything. They were all at home, but once it started, people started thinking in a different way. That is where we started going online, digital marketing, and that is how the whole thing then grew up ab word of mouth limit ho gaya hai. Let's connect back to our existing customer using this medium. So that's how digital world is when we entered. We made our website, online e-commerce, but again, digital marketing for us was getting connected to our customer, again branding ourselves and connecting to the customer, not marketing like spending on ads and all. And again, that pre-COVID thought process of having honest pricing, it's like your margins, it's yet difficult to let go of that. So we are not marketing, spending money on advertisements and all. but making sure to balance it, connect to our customer, to let them know that we are yet around. So let's just
Yeah, because at some point as a business, there is a there is a moral call, and then there is also the fact that end of the day, if the business doesn't sustain, the impact it will have on the people who are connected to it is way more. So that's where you need to kind of also judge your how you want to morally base your decisions, because either way you go, being too upfront and too sticking by the book and okay, this is how the brand started and this is how we will function, can affect the people who are currently in the business, and the other way around. So
yeah, I agree with you. It's like earlier we were always like word of mouth das ho gaya, let's not do marketing, let's not spend. It's working well, let's do this. But post-COVID things have changed. We have to enter the digital world. And that is like you said, the responsibility of taking along a family, the whole staff. It's always on us. They are dependent on us. You can see them. They have their sort of set of issues. We have our challenges to run a business, but their issues are very basic requirements of daily life, schooling, health. Everybody needs money. So that is the call. Then we said, no, let's start doing this. Even if the margins get squeezed, but it's okay. Like, let's just, because this is the need of the hour, we have to change. You can't be that old school. You have to. And that's how we have evolved over the last couple of years. And it's,
yeah, I mean, even I know, like, the way you deal with your business, the way you take your patience, you let things happen. I mean, Sahil and me have discussed so many times that we've learned, and on a very honest note, learned so much in terms of decision making, like how we are more spontaneous and impulsive. No, abhi, and your way of kind of let things happen, see it out. Okay, let's think, let's take a day. How you kind of gather your thoughts. I mean, from your process of thinking also, we've kind of learned.
So now it works the other way around also. Now they think ye sab old school hai. They are all old. So that's where they take time, because life earlier was very systematic and slow paced, and you could take a decision meaning you could take your decision in your own time. But now with this generation, with the pace of things, the world, the way it's changing, sometimes we feel like you may feel nice about decisions are taken, because that's how we've been, our brain functions that way. That's how we've been trained. Like, let's analyze everything. Let's see this. Iska impact us pe kya hoga, uska is pe. Because today, whatever decisions we take, it's going to have some effect, negative or positive. Everybody thinks that you take a decision for good, but sometimes it may backfire. Sometimes when you take too much time, sometimes we feel that we are lost on that time. You shouldn't. Time is of essence. Let's run. Sometimes you take, nahi yaar, zyada bhagunga, so it's not possible. Let's slow down. So it's a balance that you keep on doing. Certain times you take time to take a decision and it's a wrong decision. Certain times it's an impulsive decision and it's the right decision. So it's just, you just do this day in, day out, and over a period of time, you just get to.
And like, honestly, the way the environment is changing in marketing, with all the things that are coming in, be it AI or e-com or different platform, things are changing so fast. I honestly feel, from the biggest of the biggest entrepreneurs to the smallest, in terms of knowing what's going to happen, nobody really knows. People are just figuring it out by the day. And the smartest and the most successful ones are those who are good at figuring it out on that particular day.
So earlier for us, it used to be like, aaj se 10 saal baad hum kahan rahenge? What are we going to do? No, there is no 10 years. It's like, what are we going to do in the next quarter? Now, everything has boiled down to a quarter. 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarters max. Even if you want to plan something, you can't, because things are changing so fast around you that you really don't know. And sometimes you feel get the newer generation, listen to them and do things according to what they feel is right, because things are changing too fast for anybody. Like you rightly said, nobody knows what's going to happen. It's like the smartest one is like, it's all a retrospective call. His call was the best because he succeeded. And the 9 we all don't know who've not succeeded. Everybody knows only that person who succeeded, and suddenly you're like, "Arey yaar, he knows it." But I mean, it's kind of difficult for anybody to tell for sure what's gonna happen. It's and go with the flow doesn't work because you don't even know where the flow is going. आज left है, कल right है, कल reverse है, कल forward है. It's difficult.
In terms of the future, okay, where do you see this business going? And are you planning to bring your children into the business? What are your thoughts about it? Are they excited? What are they thinking?
Yeah. So basically, for us, it's like earlier our thought process when we started, like say 15 years back. So our thought process was let's create something. Then right now, post-COVID, it's like you have to create a brand because that's how things are changing now. Now, from a brand, you create a legacy. For legacy, you need multiple ways to connect to a consumer base. So that is why future for us, we are also brick and mortar stores are going to be there because apparels even today are going to be touch and feel, wear it, see the fit. Earlier generation, if you see, fitting did not matter much. For them, it was the quality. Today's generation, with quality, look and feel, the product lineage, like why this product over that product, they're more interested. Plus, it should fit them well. So, over a period of time, things have changed. So, going in the future, it's going to be quality, fit primarily, and with variety to be unique. So, I think the way we've started for the next few years to come, I don't think there's any issue with the way we are thinking right now and growing. And yes, the newer generation is interested, they are excited, and many times we do go back home with an issue or a problem which we don't understand. We discuss it with them, and they do have answers, which gives you the confidence that yes, the newer generation is interested. They think. The main thing about like the future holds is because of AI, you just type in, they will give you the output, but who's going to analyze that? Who's going to think beyond that? You need that human touch and emotion that's going to be there. So yes, I'm very confident that the next generation will be interested. They are going to take this ahead.
Yeah, and I am waiting to see how Cotton Cottage evolves and how we evolve with it as an agency. I mean, I know for a fact that in the process of doing your marketing, we have grown so much because we've learned so many things, and so many things I have figured out while working with you. And yeah, I think with that.
So the feeling is very mutual. It's like you said, now we used to take our decisions thinking, but I like you said, you all are impulsive. So anything or everything to do. Like we discussed about a podcast last week, and today here I'm sitting here. Till date, we were always on the away from the camera. Nobody, I'm not even sure, even in the store, if I'm visiting, people who used to visit 15 years back would know that yes, they are the owners. But today, in case I'm in the store and you come, and I'll be like, I'm the manager. I'm just taking care and yeah, whatever, however, and that's it. So today, you gave me that confidence, yes, the brand has to have a face. Let people know who you are, what you all do, how is the journey. So yes, this is something that we are learning from you all. And yes, it took me less than a week. You convinced me, yes, like let's do it, and I'm here. So it's a mutual thing.
I know for a fact that you wouldn't have been here if I wouldn't have pushed you. Yeah. Because I know, because every time we have a call or we are talking about the brand or where it is going, you give such beautiful way of describing what you do, and our processes of kind of bringing it out in a creative or in a design or what we write. And I keep telling you, I can only try so much through a reel or through a creative, but your words are your words. And having lived the journey, no word will have as much value as coming out from because it's from the soul, right? You've lived the story to tell the story. And that's what I think, this is what the podcast is about, like to bring these stories out.
I think it's a nicer way of connecting and letting people know, like, yeah, exactly what happens behind the scenes, or what is the thought process, or why does the person do this or not do this and why. So yeah.
And I think with that we'll conclude. Thank you so much for coming today. It was amazing again to listen to your story, and I'm sure people will enjoy it too.
I would say thank you for making me do this and removing that thing कि नहीं हम behind the scenes अच्छे हैं, कैमरा के पीछे अच्छे हैं, let not जैसे चल रहा है सब अच्छा हो रहा है. I'm thankful and grateful.